Getting live.
Hello, it's good to another brand new video. Today we are reviewing the finale of Doctor Who Series 10, Episode 12. Now, I know a lot of people like this one, so I'm going to go easily. Before we start, I do want to make clear, because we've had a few problems with these in the past, that reviews aren't official made reviews among lots of people. This is me giving my opinion. You don't have to take it that seriously. So people who take it to heart and try to disprove my opinion, which doesn't make any sense anyway, just leave it out. I'd love to hear your thoughts, but remember, just respect everyone else's opinion, and then we can all enjoy the show together, rather than separately. That would be nice, wouldn't it? So anyway, getting on the episode. Now, the episode I have watched twice now. I'm sorry it's late. I was away all weekend. It's now Sunday. I'm recording this at 8 o'clock. I've watched it twice now, and I must say, I enjoyed it more the second time than I did the first time, but it still does not excuse some of the things I really dislike about the episode. I'm going to start by saying, Sim, you are brilliant, and it is such a shame that you were killed off in this episode. But, I mean, John Sim's master, not the master himself, but actually the master was killed off by himself. The main reason I had a problem with this was because of the whole thing in Series 3 where the master refused to ever kill himself, ever end his own life intentionally, and that's exactly what he's just done. It's a bit stupid, really. Like, even in Last of the Time Lords, he did it because he knew there was a way out, and there was a way to be immortal with that ring. It obviously didn't work, but there was a way out of it, and he just went and killed himself. I hope Missy doesn't come directly after Sim, because then the master really is dead and can never come back. Michelle Gomez is never coming back, meaning that John Sim can't come back because he's just been stabbed by Missy, and we can just presume regenerates in the next incarnation. That's unfortunate, but hey ho, we'll see what happens. A main problem, I do have a few problems with this episode. As I just mentioned, one big one there. They've just killed off a character that has been being developed for just under 50 years. That's a bit of a shame. But anyway, I'm going to go through the episode bit by bit and just pick out what I liked and what I didn't like. I want to go through what I liked now. Okay, so I did like a lot of things about this episode. As many criticisms as I have, I did enjoy the episode as a whole. I did kind of enjoy it. I enjoyed the first scene. The very first scene, which is the one on the rooftop with Missy and the Master, with the Doctor in a wheelchair, very reminiscent of Sound of Drums, where the aged 10th Doctor is being pushed around in a wheelchair by John Sim's Master, just to show a nice little connection there. I thought it was amusing. I thought the banter between them was quite fun and interesting and new, and very psychotic as well, and very evil, and I loved it. And it really started to set up something that could be really well explored in the episode and wasn't, and that was Missy's connection with the Doctor and how she wants to stand with him. Yes, I'm aware this is how their story ends at the end, when she betrays John Sim's Master to join the Doctor, but then just gets shot anyway, so it doesn't really matter. The point I'm trying to make is that that could have had a lot of building and a lot of main focus in the episode, rather than the main focus being about Bill, and unfortunately it really was about Bill and not at all about the Doctor as much, and not as much about the Master as it should have been. I feel like that opening scene was the beginning of another episode that we never got to see. It was very, very good, and it was very, very interesting, and once they got to the countryside, it just started to slow down for me a bit. They had a full 10 minutes of Pearl Mackie standing there talking, but she's now a Cyberman. And this is the main problem I have with the episode, that Stephen Moffat did this thing that he always does and doesn't let a companion die. He just sort of suggests they die and let them float off happily. And this is an example of that. She got turned into a Cyberman last episode, and now she's self-aware. She's like, oh, I didn't know I'm a Cyberman. And then she's like, what? What's happening? She's panicking, and she doesn't know what's going on. Right? And she's worrying. This is Pearl Mackie. The Cyberman that is Bill is the character of Bill all the way through the episode. She never gets fully converted. At all. So that's a shame, because I feel like having a story where the Doctor is driven through his anger of the death of his best friend would have been a much more interesting story. Whereas this, I know he knows there's no way out of it and Billy's sort of dead, but she's still sort of there talking to him, and she's trying to find a way out of it. And it's very Bill focused, especially the ending as well, which I'll get onto in a minute. I thought it was very interesting anyway. I liked the scene in the woods where the Master and Missy are talking. Missy has a sonic umbrella, no problem with that. Laser screwdriver, were very well used. The Master shouting "kill it, kill it, kill it" when he sees a new Cyberman, which fair enough. Is good. I might make a little meme out of that one. But yeah, I thought it was interesting. I thought it was a good episode overall. I felt most of the countryside bits and the use of an actress like Samantha Spiro was very underused. I feel like John Sim was very underused. He was properly as the Master the last 2 minutes of this last episode and the first like half an hour of this before Missy stabbed him. So that's a shame. He didn't have much time to explore himself. I do prefer him this way than the insane take on End of Time and the slightly hypnotic and very young version he was in Sound of Drums and Last of the Time Lords. We got a little bit of an explanation, thank God, to how he got out of the situation in the End of Time, where it just says, Peter Capaldi says, "Last time I saw you, you were heading towards Gallifrey. What happened there?" And he just said, well, they brought him back to life and then he just flew away. Or kicked out. So he just took TARDIS and took off, and then crashed on this ship, and then just tried and made a life. That's pretty clever. And you know, that's how we see him. He's aged, he's older, you know, he's spent 10 years with Bill, and trying to become a friend just to talk to the Doctor, I suppose. It was interesting. I liked how Sim's character's developed. I like how it shows the timeline properly, and it just link it very well. A problem. The scene where Missy kills the Master. I haven't got a problem with it. I understand why she did it, right? And at first, I didn't like the fact that it happened, mainly because I love John Sim's Master. And I want to see more of him. And I think he was very underused, and I think that's a bit of a shame. But putting that aside, I think it was a very clever death, and it was very cleverly done. Very mastery. And the way John Sim's Master just fires the laser screwdriver into the back of Missy, killing her stone dead. She can't even regenerate. So that is the last, the Master. Unless somehow the Time Lord resurrect her, or him, for the third time in Doctor Who canon. Jesus, I don't know why they would. They're just trying to, like, just annoy people, I suppose. But yeah, so she gets killed stone dead, and they just, well, not straight away. They're both just dying, laughing together, and that was quite a good way to end it. And the last shot we see of John Sim is going down the elevator lift thing, and it's just him cackling to himself. That was very good. That was very classic Who, and I really liked the way it was just represented. I just liked it. I think it was very clever. I was very happy with that. I think that's pretty much about it. I mean, there's not much else. Oh yeah, that big scene at the end. So getting on to the final bit, yeah. The ending, there's this scene where the Doctor runs through the forest and the Cybermen are attacking. Mondasian Cybermen can fly. I didn't like it at first, but I'm happy to accept it. I haven't got a problem with it. Just let it happen, and I'll just ignore it, right? I'll just ignore the whole canon thing aside. Because what we could say is that the people, maybe they sent colony ships off with the original Mondasian Cybermen plans to Mondas, and then they just used them plans to create their version of the Mondasian Cybermen that we see on the 10th planet. And the ones that are stayed on the ship evolved and learned to fly. It's a shame we didn't see the 80s era Cybermen though. That would have been interesting. Connect all the eras, you know. But I liked how... I mean, honestly, to be honest, the flying wasn't necessary, but I think it sort of worked, because they couldn't just keep coming up to the elevator. It would look stupid. So yeah, I did like it to an extent. It worked. But there was a scene where the Doctor was running through the forest, naming all the planets where the Cyberman came from, and he's just buzzing them and blowing them up, and it's great. It's a lovely scene to the music of Breaking the Wall from Heaven Sent. Absolutely beautiful. Well done on that, Murray Gold. You did a good job. Made me smile. And a Mondasian Cyberman just shoots him, and he just sits there. He says, well, he just says, "I'm the Doctor." It's like, "We are in no need of Doctor," and just shoots him on sight. And he just says his line from Tom Baker, which obviously Moffat's just taken. Very similar. Tom Baker said, "You may be a Doctor, but I'm the Doctor," the definitive article, you might say. Or the definite article. And Capaldi says, "You not a Doctor, I'm the Doctor, the original," you might say. And that is what he says before blowing up the whole floor on that ship, 100 miles long, killing a majority of the Cybermen on board that ship, which eventually he kills himself in that making. Now, don't ask me how this happens. He starts regenerating, obviously. He was killed, I think, by a Cyberman that grabbed him on the roof in the first opening scene. That was the start of his regeneration, because he did have regeneration energy coming out of his hand after that. Hence why he needed the walking stick. And then he got shot again by, like, 2 big blasts from another Mondasian Cyberman. So the Mondasian Cybermen are the one to kill him. And then he just sort of dies because he blows himself up. But then Bill, the Bill Cyberman, comes along, starts crying on him, and we get this nice flashback to the original episode, the pilot, where the person Bill fancied, Heather, who became that water monster. The first episode, Bill says, "That's not my tear, it's Heather's," and that is how it links. Heather, it was still inside Bill. I know that sounds. Yeah. So when Bill was crying as a Cyberman, it was actually the tears from that water creature that we saw. And Heather took Bill with her and into the universe. They are, in a sense, atoms scattered throughout the universe, going anywhere they want. And I think that's a nice little ending. I liked how Heather appeared. I would have preferred it, though, if they just took the Doctor back to the TARDIS and she'd just appeared. You know, if Bill, the Cyber Bill, carried the Doctor up to the TARDIS, put him in the TARDIS, and then died, and then Heather appeared and she just walked into a light, that would have been better for me. But they did this thing where the atoms scattered and they picked up the Doctor and put him in the TARDIS, and the TARDIS flew away in time and space. They opened the doors and just disappeared into space. Both these water creatures just disappearing. And yeah, the Doctor wakes up and there's this great speech. It's the Good Man music, and there's this great scene. I think it is it the 5th Doctor regeneration, 5th or 6th, where it's all the sort of people going, "Doctor, Doctor, Doctor," and I thought it was so clever. They've never done that in the modern series. I think that made me really smile, because it had all the companions from 2005 onwards saying Doctor. You had Rose, Donna, you had Martha, Captain Jack, Amy, Missy, Clara, Bill, Nardole. You had loads of people showing up. Sarah Jane Smith showing up, saying his name, and then he just woke up and he starts regenerating, and he just stops it. It's like, no, I'm regeneration. I think that was quite clever. I liked that bit quite a lot. I liked how he's able to stop his regeneration. This is better than Tennant. Tennant held it off for too long, and I thought that was just for dramatic effect. Actually, it makes more sense now. So, inadvertently, they've actually fixed Tennant's regeneration for me. Tennant was just holding it off so we could say goodbye. So, a Time Lord can hold off his regeneration as long as he wants, really, but he's always going to be dying and weak. And eventually, probably towards the middle of the Christmas special, or maybe towards the end, I think it's going to be different this time. I think midway through he's going to regenerate, Peter Capaldi, and we're going to see the new Doctor for more than just like the 1 minute we usually see. In fact, we might get a bit more of a snippet. Maybe the 12th Doctor will get himself into trouble, regenerate, and then the new Doctor will fix his trouble. Maybe that'll be the first Doctor's new episode. Not the first Doctor, the next Doctor. Talking of the First Doctor, when Capaldi stops his regeneration, he quotes a lot of lines. He quotes Matt Smith's final line, and he quotes David Tennant's final line. He says, "I don't want to go." He also says, what does he say? "I will always remember when the Doctor was me," which is what Matt Smith said in Time of the Doctor. And then he left the TARDIS, and then it cuts to the beginning shot from World Enough and Time, where he starts regenerating and goes, no, I'm not regenerating. Puts his fist in the ground. And then the First Doctor appears, David Bradley. It's been rumoured for ages. It's a shame this got leaked as well, set pictures, but I really liked how he just sort of appeared. I was saying to my friend who'd already watched it, he wasn't going to give me any spoilers, but I was saying, it would be great if David Bradley appeared at the end in the style of like John Hurt, like the War Doctor. That's exactly what happened. It was like he said a line, and then it was like introducing like John Hurt as the Doctor, and this is right at the end. It said, "And David Bradley as the Doctor," and that's great. They're gonna both come in the Christmas special, and they're gonna work together, and it looks great. I love the way David Bradley plays the First Doctor, and I'm very, very curious to see what will happen next time. Very, very excited, and I very much can't wait. So, I'll see you all at Christmas, I suppose. And yeah, long review, I know, I'm very sorry about that. But thank you all so much for watching. I'm going to give this a... Upon first watch, it was 5 out of 10. I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. Mainly, I know it's a bad review. Mainly because I felt like most of the episode was wasted. The extra 15 minutes mostly was wasted on trying to give Bill a good send-off, when I feel like it would have been more emotional just to have her die last episode. I feel like it was a bit unused, and I feel like Sim was a bit left back a bit. But overall, I did enjoy it. I think it was good, and I was very happy the way it was done, and I cannot wait to see what they're going to do Christmas special. Very much. I'm really excited now, and it'll be good. So thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you leave a like, comment below for your opinions, subscribe if you haven't already, because the brand new store, pitch, no, don't do that anymore. The new store, Facebook, Twitter, other YouTube channels, Ace and Team Inverse in the description below. See you guys next time. It's Griffith, Ace out. Bye!